This woke CNN host had an absolute meltdown and ended her show early, ended this interview with Tim Burchett early because she got absolutely destroyed by Tim on Hunter Biden. Let's check out this clip where once again, this CNN host has an absolute meltdown because she can't handle the truth about Hunter Biden and the plea deal. She can't handle the truth that Joe Biden and his administration are abusing the DOJ in order to get people like Donald Trump arrested and get people like Hunter Biden off easy. Let's check out this clip here from CNN.
The news about Hunter Biden, his deal blown up by the judge. Prosecutors and the defense usually have their stuff together when it comes to putting these plea deals together, but the judge wasn't having it. Where do you see all of this going?
I keep thinking it's another nail in the coffin, but it's just they just keep knocking the nails. It doesn't seem to affect. In my opinion, ma'am, the Justice Department is very aloof right now. They're a rudderless ship. They need to get their act together. The judge obviously executed their option and threw this horrible plea agreement out, which honestly, if that was in Tennessee, I've seen people get get stronger punishment for a traffic violation. Literally, he walked on a gun charge. And now I think they're realizing what's going on in these committees, in the Judiciary Committee and the Oversight Committee about what's going on with Hunter Biden. And I think they're paying attention to that. And this judge realizes that there's more to this and that this deal is a bad deal.
Would you vote for an impeachment, as a lot of folks are talking about in the GOP when it comes to Joe Biden?
From the evidence I've seen, I would, ma'am. You're talking $10 million from Burisma. You've got money coming from China.
But even though there's no evidence
of anyone even paying any taxes on this money.
Right, but Congressman, even though there's no evidence that we have all seen, that has been shown to the public, that has been put...
He was speaking facts for a second there, and she had to cut him off because he's not allowed to speak those facts on CNN. Yeah, that's the wrong network to be talking facts about Joe Biden on. It's not only the criminal-ish things that he's done. Some people can debate whether or not those things are criminal. In my opinion, they are. And obviously, Tim Burchett also thinks they are criminal. And what he's doing with Hunter Biden, I mean, there's a ton of other things that the Biden family has done as well. Certain connections that Joe Biden has. And then you can also just go to his cognitive abilities. He's obviously very lacking in that department. He's definitely not fit to be a cashier at McDonald's, much less the president of the United States. So not only has he done some criminal things, some shady things, but he's also just not cognitively available in order to run the United States of America, in my opinion.
Forward from the Congress, from the GOP, that there are ties, very clear ties between Hunter Biden's business dealings and Joe Biden, correct?
Well, let me correct you on that. It's the FBI's informant, not the Republican informant, not the Democrat. The FBI's own informant was the one that notified us of some of the most damning information. And it just goes on and on. And, what are they paying these millions of dollars for? The grandkids, minors getting tens of thousands of dollars. What are they getting? They always say, well, the Trumps. Well, President Trump was selling tough steaks and crappy ties. We know that. But what is Hunter Biden selling? Nothing but influence.
But couldn't he be selling that influence, sir? Couldn't he be selling that influence, sir, if that is the case, without his dad knowing? In other words, selling it using the name without,
sure.
You know what I mean?
Well, President Biden changed his story once again today and said that first he said he's never talked to me about business, which to me is just absurd. I mean, you talk to your dad. I talk to my dad about everything, my business, my political life, my love life, for goodness sakes, or lack thereof, I guess. But, to say that he's not talking to his dad about it. And then his dad says, well, we didn't talk about that business. And then, it's just too much, ma'am. Tens of millions of dollars. And let's be honest, if they'd have paid that money to the Trumps and there was no, and you'd be asking, where's the quid pro quo? Mm-hmm. And this is just the reality of what's going on. And the money laundering is pitiful. I mean,
but I just want to be really clear, Congressman. Congressman, look, nothing has been made public yet that shows us all of this.
And here comes the meltdown, and here comes where she's going to end the show early. But it is 100% true. I mean, if it's been said a million times, if this was the Trumps in the same situation, the guy probably would have been impeached already. The guy might even be in jail. I mean, they're trying to throw him in jail for other things already. And it's just wild, the special treatment that Joe Biden is getting, that Hunter Biden is getting. And people on CNN, like this woman here, are still trying to defend Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and still trying to defend the DOJ. And, thank God for people like Tim Burchett out there who are actually trying to speak the truth. But there's still a ton of people, large networks, that are still trying to defend this guy. And how many times can we possibly catch him? How much more evidence do we possibly need to where you're able to admit, okay, yeah, this guy probably should be in jail or at least get charged criminally with something. He probably should face some sort of consequences, as well as should Joe Biden for defending him, for kind of trying to sweep this whole thing under the rug. That's just what should happen when we have this much overwhelming evidence against Hunter Biden and Joe Biden.
And if it is, we will get back to you. We'd love to talk to you if you have the evidence to show. But at this point, we haven't seen, the public hasn't seen any of this hard evidence that has been brought up.
I don't know what you have $10 million coming from Burisma, a company. They're accusing Biden.
Yeah, well, I don't know what more evidence she could possibly want.
They accused Trump of doing what Biden actually did, $10 million of bribery, and they fired a guy. I mean, you can follow the money, man. I mean, these are FBI informants. These are FBI.
Right, but it has to be proven. There has to be some proof. You can't just say it happened. There has to be some proof, right?
Well, what was the dossier on Trump? There wasn't really any proof. It was all hearsay. And now here you've got an FBI document, an official document showing that. So, we can sit here and argue about it, and I get it. You've got your base, I've got mine, but I've seen.
I don't have a base. I'm a journalist. I don't have a base. Democrat or Republican.
I understand, ma'am. You work for CNN, but let's be honest. If you work for Fox, it's either right wing, and you all are the left wing. And I get it. It's politics.
I'm not.
As usual,
that is 100% how it works. If this was Fox, it'd be different. It would be the opposite. But you're on CNN, so you're not allowed to criticize Hunter Biden. You're not allowed to criticize Joe Biden. That's just how these networks work. And I'm glad that he was able to call that out pretty easily there.
You don't know my politics, sir. You really don't know my politics.
Nobody believes that, ma'am. You can say that, and you can have your fingers crossed.
But again, there has to be proof, sir. There has to be proof, both with my politics and with whether or not Joe Biden is involved in this. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you talking about UAPs and
that's where she cuts it off, because she knows that she's getting backed into a corner. Because we do have the proof. We do have the proof. I don't know how much more proof she could possibly want.
Issue with Hunter Biden. I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me on, ma'am. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you.
These people do that so often, where they'll be having a conversation with somebody, and then as soon as they get backed into a corner, as soon as they start like hard disagreeing on something that they're saying, because they know that they're wrong, but they have to hard disagree because she's on CNN, she's forced to. And then once she starts disagreeing like that and she knows that she's in the wrong and the facts aren't on her side, they'll always just end it. They'll always just end the interview. They'll always just end the altercation. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this CNN meltdown from this woke CNN host. I think it's just funny always to laugh at these people who do these things, who end these interviews early because they know that they're wrong. So I just like making videos on these because I think they're funny to laugh at. But let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this woke CNN meltdown.